Right Hand Cam wants to know if WWE is failing Jey Uso right now. And I actually think this is a very interesting topic considering that Rikishi has been super outspoken. Quite frankly, I don't actually agree. I actually don't agree whatsoever because truth be told, I think WWE has something special with Jey Uso, and Jey Uso's kind of in a weird situation right now. And I kind of want to explain this. Jey Uso is a talent who broke away from the bloodline and absolutely took off as a singles guy. And I don't know if WWE truly anticipated what happened with Jey Uso, but if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, what Jey Uso has done has become super incredible to watch because the merchandise is selling, the crowd is going crazy. He's got the fireflies, he's got the yeet stuff. But WWE has Jey Uso in a situation where they can't elevate him to a championship because I think it's inevitable that WWE wants to bring him back to the Bloodline saga. Now, what's really interesting is WWE's potential plans. There's rumors that WWE will have Cody versus The Rock at WrestleMania 41. And then in London at WrestleMania 42, the rumor is that WWE is going to have Roman versus The Rock. We don't know what the hell is going to happen, obviously. But if Jey Uso is going to get involved in the bloodline stuff, I feel like they can prolong that for another year. And so if that is the case, then yeah, WWE is failing him. But if they do have imminent plans for him and, if they have plans for him to join the bloodline immediately, then it's a little bit different because in that case, I don't think they're necessarily failing him. I think they're just utilizing him on TV and trying to do something with him on TV in the meantime. See, the thing is, everything's about timing. And I feel like for WWE, one of the big things that people need to understand is that sometimes you could push somebody at the wrong time and sometimes you could push somebody at the right time. And because it seems like Jey Uso's career is currently in limbo, that's where it makes it a little bit more difficult to understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing. But I think Jey Uso is so talented, and obviously they got this Intercontinental Championship stuff, and then they got this stuff going on with Rhea and Damian Priest. I don't feel like Jey Uso is being failed necessarily because of the fact that he is so incredibly hot. I think that what we really need to do is wait and see what is going to happen with Jey Uso. I think that's really, it's the waiting game, right? Because you don't want him to cool off. And that's actually one of my biggest fears about him going back and reconciling with Roman Reigns. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, what they do with him and going to Roman Reigns and rejoining the bloodline, like, that worries me because is that going to cool him off? WWE has to be very specific in the way they approach that. I really do think they got to be specific in the way they approach that because quite honestly, if they have plans for Jey Uso to join the bloodline, okay, and imagine this for a second. He rejoins the bloodline. Well, right now he's a Raw superstar. The reason why he's a main event talent on Raw is because there is a need for him to be a main event talent on Raw. When he goes to SmackDown to rejoin the bloodline, that's a little bit different. That is actually way too different because now he's not even involved as a singles act. I mean, he's just going to be Roman's bitch. And I think that's where things get a little bit tricky. And I don't want to see WWE get to that. I don't want to see them get to that route is my point. I don't want to see them get to that. I don't know if this makes sense. And I'm going to try my best here to like really, really, really understand what is happening here. But I think it would be a lot better for WWE if they were in a situation where they can have Jey Uso work Raw as main event Jey Uso and pull up to SmackDown in some light that is different. Like, I don't know what exactly it will take. I don't know exactly how they'll go about it. But if like, I don't want to see him permanently move to SmackDown is my point. And there's got to be a way for WWE to do that with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. I know a lot of people will talk about the brand split too, but quite honestly, if I could be truthful to everybody, I don't really give a shit about the brand split. If it means that the storyline will be better and Jey Uso will not be stuck in a situation where he is like if he's in a situation where he's not being buried, dude, if you could protect him as a main event talent and be a guy that helps Roman Reigns, that's huge. But if Jey Uso's going there to tag team with Jimmy and then lose to Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, that's where it's like that's where it really matters to me, quite honestly. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, that's where it really matters to me. So yeah, look, listen, Cam, I think it's a great question. Do I feel like they're failing him? Rikishi will say that they are. I don't. But it's a trickery, slippery, shitty slope to be on. Like, Jey Uso's career could literally be killed if they don't handle this the right way. And I do think that is the most important thing for people to understand, is like, you could really screw somebody's career if you don't play this right, because Jey Uso's already a main event talent. Jey Uso's already like Jey Uso would not be like, you want to have him go up against Dragunov, and you want to have him go up against Braun Breaker, and you want to have him go up and do all these things. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do. Like, I don't know. Like, why risk it just for a Roman Reigns storyline? To me, there's got to be a better way to handle it. Now, I do want to point this out too, and this is probably my final point in regards to the question. The flip side is, can you have Jey Uso move to SmackDown and then maybe have him win the United States Championship? And while being United States Champion, he could still be involved in the Bloodline stuff. That is technically a route that they can go. So do keep that in mind. Like, they could have him go to the SmackDown and become US champion. The problem is, we just wasted like a year and a half of LA Knight going through a whole bunch of bullshit just for him to now get to the point where he can actually hold the US championship. So this is a timing thing, man. Timing tells all. I don't think Jey Uso has been failed. I know Rikishi will say it 100 times. I don't think that's the case. But if they don't play the next few months correctly, yeah, there is a lot of trouble in that. And if I were the WWE, I would just be very careful. I think if you have Jey Uso rejoining the Bloodline maybe in late 2025, getting ready for WrestleMania season 2026, that's a little bit different. But if there's anything imminent, I think that could be very problematic. And if I were the WWE, I would say for now to stay away from that. Keep Jey Uso on Raw, keep pushing him. You know, he's associated with the top acts on the show. That's exactly where he should be. Don't be hesitant to putting a belt on him if you want to, but don't let him get to Braun Breaker and then get destroyed. And then, you know, all you're doing is just keeping him there for the sake of keeping him there. I think that's the big thing. So definitely interesting. Great question, Cam. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to Big Hand Cam for dropping this super chat on my live stream on my main YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch more, tune in Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time, live on youtube.com/@Ango.